Guilt, guilt, guilt. I planned to finish that project, but I got sick to the point that I couldn't barely get out of bed. Feel guilty. The boss wants me to stay late to prep for the big event tomorrow, but I gotta pick up my kids. Feeling guilty again. Good morning. Good Monday, and welcome to the Karen Smith Frazier podcast. My name is Karen Smith Frazier, and as someone who has served as a registered nurse for over 3 decades, I am familiar with carrying guilt that I had no business carrying. Is feeling guilty the plight of all caregivers and folks who have a heart for service? I don't think it has to be, but I must admit that it is part of my story. As a caregiver with a passion for helping others, at times I felt stuck, unappreciated, and for the last few years as a school nurse, I was afraid of making a change for myself, partially because I felt guilty about letting folks down. The thing I am wondering now, though, is, was I really letting them down? Or was it just my thoughts, assuming that that would be the case? Thankfully, I made a change, and now I am a transformational life coach and get to help folks who were like me, those who had a desire to serve others and also live out their lives more fully and go from stuck and fearful of change to fulfilled and motivated to explore and go after their own goals without feeling guilty. And as I said last week, that took courage and some intentional work on noticing how I had been slammed with guilt due to my own thoughts. Now, I'm not saying feelings of guilt have no benefits. They can serve as a barometer of one's conscience. If I lie to a friend, that may cause some guilt. But if I don't want to share an intimate personal detail with a friend, do I get to go guilt-free then? Too often we don't. So I'm going to take a quick moment to run through a short description of 3 types of guilt. There are probably many more descriptions, but I'm just going to stick with 3. The first one, reactive guilt. This one refers to the guilt one may feel when they've taken an action that violates their own personal beliefs or societal standards, or even when they break a promise to themselves. This is often considered natural or healthy guilt because it can motivate us to make amends and change our behavior for the better. It's the kind that lets us know we have a healthy conscience. We care about how our behavior may have a negative impact on someone. The second one is existential guilt. This one refers to a deeper, more profound feeling of guilt, like when reflecting on the general injustices in the world. Something like this reveals the disparities or unfairness of how, for example, some have an abundance of resources and others have very little. Now, some sources describe this one as being unavoidable since it's rooted in the awareness of our limitations and the world's imperfections. So someone with existential guilt is the one that may be aware that something doesn't feel right, but they ignore it or don't want to think about what part their own behaviors or lack of behavior may be adding to the problem or injustice. Pretending that the issue doesn't exist may leave one feeling a little guilty. And finally, anticipatory guilt. This one is that feeling of guilt one may experience before they act. It's anticipated and is based on the fear of potential consequences. This is the one I was referring to when I was taking my sweet time to make a change about my last job, assuming I would be reprimanded or disliked for standing up for myself. And an example of this is feeling guilty about a potential negative outcome before you even take an action. And to be honest with you, I see this one more of fear than guilt. But hey, let's be real. Most of us don't sit around categorizing our guilt. My point here is that if you're going to use the energy to feel guilty, first determine if the guilt is valid, if you were truly at fault. Taking responsibility, making amends, and forgiving yourself are key steps. 2, understand your mistake and its cause. Reflect on why you did what you did. Was it due to anger, desperation, or was there an underlying motive? Acknowledging the reason can help you learn from it and prevent it from happening again. 3, make amends. If possible, repair the damage or offer a sincere apology to the person you harmed. A genuine apology involves acknowledging your role without making excuses. While the other person may not forgive you, doing your part can help you move forward. 4, learn from the experience. The purpose of guilt is to signal that you have acted against your values. Treat the feeling as a teacher, not a punishment. The goal is to learn from your mistake and develop a strategy for different behavior in the future. Forgive yourself. Finally, forgive yourself. You are not your past actions. Let me repeat that. You are not your past actions. Forgive yourself. After taking steps to repair the situation, accept that you are human and that everyone makes mistakes. Practice self-compassion by treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. Unfounded guilt, on the other hand, can stem from an inaccurate perception of events. Ask yourself, was I actually responsible for what happened? Is it logical for me to feel this badly about the situation? Am I being harder on myself than I would be with a friend in the same position? So, right now, I invite you to notice how you feel as I read circumstances where you do not have to feel guilty. I don't want you expending energy where you don't have to. There's enough that you need to be doing that you don't need to be spending extra energy on feeling guilty. We are all works in progress, and you may notice one area that needs more attention. So here's the list, and I am not going to explain them or dive deeper. That's your job if you so choose to do so. So let them sink in. Okay, you ready? And for transparency, I got this list from Instant Leaders. 1, you do not have to feel guilty for standing up for yourself. You do not have to feel guilty for not being available 24/7. You do not need to feel guilty for setting boundaries. You don't have to feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. You do not have to feel guilty for needing time to be alone. You do not have to feel guilty for reaching out for help. You do not have to feel guilty for doing what's right for you. You do not have to feel guilty for feeling your emotions. Do any of these resonate for you? Let me know in the comments or DM me. And later today, the full podcast will be available on my YouTube channel at Karen Smith Frazier. You can follow, subscribe, and let me know what you thought of this podcast. And also, if you or someone you know is searching for a life coach, you can put connect in the chat, and I'll send the calendar link for a 15 to 30-minute discovery session. Okay, I'm going to see if there are any comments here. All right. Well, I don't see any right now, and it's still my nemesis, but I want to thank those who made it out for last Wednesday's masterclass. Biggest turnout so far. I appreciate you. And the next one will be in November, and I will keep you posted. As always, I encourage you to unleash your brilliance, uncover your light. The world needs you, and the world is waiting for you. So let's do it. Let's do this. All right. Take care. Have a great Monday. Have a great week.